is quite low, and how can it be that big, as you say? Can you please refer us the reference of the comparison to other countries in terms of particulate matter, greenhouse gas emission, and something like that? And the second thing is related to the first question is EV is right for us because how about the consistency of government policy? I think I see some a bit clumsiness in adopting kind of policy because in one side there is a project, kind of a mega project in the state-owned enterprises like Pertamina, which is led by the government, taking a deal with a giant Arabian company, Saudi Aramco, in building a mega project of refinery plant. It will increase our production, Indonesia production capacity, but if it is shifted to the EV, how can we manage the production, output of the production? In terms of lowering the externalities of environmental, can we just change the energy mix of our transportation systems, such as like we can adopt more internal combustion engine which have a more environmental friendly, like say 50 ppm in our diesel fuel, because right now we kind of equivalent in Euro 2 emission. It is quite of kind of a polluting in environment. How about we just adopt to more cleaner energy, but it is still an ICE. What do you think about it?
Thank you. So I think three issues, emissions and how does the data compare, and then maybe the transition. Do we have in all of the above policy? Will fossil fuels will still be with us for a while? But
yeah, thank you. That's a good question. That's what is the problem or the situation or status of the air pollution in Indonesia compared with another country? For that, I think you can click the arrow. I think that's U.S. government also have a application on the air quality around the world. You can see about the situation. In this 3 months, since March, Jakarta is red. This status of air pollution. If you compare another city in Asia, like Beijing, for instance, Beijing yellow and sometimes green, something like that. It's mean red is mean unhealthy. That's the situation. So if we compare with another country, of course, that's the reality. And they still big a problem with air pollution. Why another country, even they have a lot of car, but can manage their quality is better? It's because they adopt the better quality of technology, lower emission vehicles, something like that. You know, that's from 2007 until now, we still use the Euro 2 standard. And the big problem, even Euro 2 standard, but the fuel still below Euro 1 of fuel. So you can imagine that's how can be happen in the air, the car with a Euro 2 standard, but filled with the fuel, gasoline or diesel fuel, this standard is not comply with Euro 2 standard. And of course, we are also happy that just last year, the government signed a new regulation to adopt the Euro 4 standard. And next month, they start to implement that Euro 4 standard. But of course, this is also still, we have still have a limitation on the fuel quality that's comply with the Euro 4 standard. I think that's Pertamax Turbo that's comply with the Euro 4 standard. But another fuel like premium 88, and then Pertalite 90, Pertamax, that's not comply with Euro 4 standard. And also Pertadec just comply for diesel for Euro 2 standard. So actually we still have homework how we can do make a better of our air quality. For the second question in relation with the policy, how we can adopt a policy that's probably that can makes happen about the better technology for better air quality. Of course, as I have shared to you before, that's actually we need to develop like a policy like I mentioned about the low carbon emission standards. That's very important. So whatever the technology, if you can produce the car that can pass the standard, that's fine. So we can make a standard. And then government can give the incentive. The technology that can pass the standard will give the incentive, like a fiscal policy on that. And then the car that cannot pass the standard, government give the disincentive, like excise. I think that we must promote also the carbon excise. That's very important. Cukai carbon or carbon tax. But in specifically, we can talk about the carbon excise. So, for instance, like this one, when government makes standard, low carbon standard, it's mean 180 gram CO2 per kilometer. The car that cannot pass the 118 gram, they must be give the disincentive by must pay the excise per gram of carbon. So more higher of the carbon come from the car, it's mean the car will more expensive rather than the car that's they have a more lower carbon level. So using that, I think it is also would be good how encourage the market can absorb this electric vehicle or another technology that's lower carbon.
I don't know if you want to come in on this, Yudo or Nikki, on this idea that Papa Put has suggested. You have, one standard maybe based on carbon, and then see how the technologies meet that standard. Perhaps in the beginning, there's less electric vehicles, more hybrid, more efficient internal combustion, but the mix maybe changes. Do you have views on the correct policy approach on this?
In a more practical way, I mean, because but we still need oil, we still need gasoline, we still need diesel oil, so and we're still importing it, right? So it is a big problem right now with us, That's why the government, try to build several new refineries. Now we are constructing in Balikpapan. Then once it finishes, it will comply with Euro 5, I guess, in Balikpapan. Yeah, not only Euro 4 but Euro 5. And then yes, you mentioned Aramco, yes. And another one is the Botang also with Oman. So why? Because again, in this country we're still importing oil products, like gasoline, like diesel oil, things like that. But yes, on the then we want to implement also EV. That's the basic idea to having the first. Actually, it's going to be the first EV regulation in Indonesia. So I think once the regulation in place, we can think about many other regulations. But start with this thing first. One thing and then other will continue.
Thank you, Yudo. Other questions? Why don't we go over here to the gentleman up there?
Okay, Thank you for opportunity for me to ask question. The first question relates to we call it the LCGC. I think it's one of the government policy about LCGC, but I can say here is it's little bit funny. Why? For me, LCGC means loss and cheap. Loss and cheap going with premium car. Why is that? Because LCGC consume the premium and it can still go. It can still work. So why the government accommodate people who have no money to buy the car? While the other policy, the government try to minimize the carbon dioxide emissions. So will it be happen in the future? My question is, will it happen like this in the future? About the technology, as far as I know, I'm sorry, think that it is a mistake. I mean, my view about the LCDC. It's really true that with premium it can go just like what I know is Nissan Terrano, for example. My friend consumed the premium and it cannot go. But LCDC still can go with the premium, right? And the other thing, one other issue about let's say that in comparison with the petroleum company, let's say that in my opinion, the rumor say that petroleum company is not happy with this technology. Why? Because the more percentage they produce EV, electric vehicles, then the less percentage they produce the product, and the less percentage they make the money. Yeah, that's the rumor. That's why I heard about many issues, national issue like Mr. Dahlan Iskan, what is the problem with the electrical, and the other government policy relates to the other interest from petroleum company. My question is, I want to confirm something like this with your gentleman here's view.
Sure.
Thank
you. So I guess did you get the question that you have a mix of interests? I think there's still interest and the infrastructure that exists and investments that exist in our current fuel systems, and then what is the bridge to the future? And how do you negotiate all these interests? And it goes to the points about policies and political economy. Would you like to talk about this, Nikki, maybe?
Sure. I mean, I hope I got the question right, but there are kind of two quick analogies that I can give. So first of all, although there are existing infrastructure and existing interests, about 80% or 70% of that infrastructure which will exist in 2030 or 2040 is yet to be built. Unlike most of the industrialized countries like US or Germany or France. So that's why those interests and that infrastructure can change very rapidly, because Indonesia still has that chance, and most of the emerging economies still have the chance to change those interests and change those infrastructure choices. That's number one. And number two is generally in the short run, emerging economies have to have an all of the above kind of policies. I mean, they cannot pick and choose and just pick one technology and go after it, and that's the end of it. For example, if you're playing soccer and if you want to score 10 goals, then just your star performer cannot score all 10 goals. I mean, all your strikers will have to score 2-3 goals each, and then you will reach that 10-goal target. So this is where emerging economies are. So all the options, they have to start from now, but in the end, the economy and the obviously political economy will decide which typically.
Well, I want to thank our speakers and our audience. It looks like we've run out of time for additional questions, and I know there are a lot of people with a number of questions. I think it goes to the interest in this topic and just the excitement and personally my fascination with how our world is changing in front of us. You know, we're transitioning from probably a less sustainable fossil-based economy over time to hopefully a much more sustainable economy. But how we make that transition is a topic that our three experts here have touched on today. Really, it's just the beginning of the conversation. They've presented some food for thought, and it's really all of you, you know, not to engage in ageism, but you're all young people here, and this is your future, and you'll help shape this hopefully more sustainable future through your actions. So I'd like to close it by again thanking our speakers and thanking our audience.
Oke, boleh tepuk tangan sekali lagi yang paling meriah. Thank you so much for all of the speakers. Before we wrap the event up, we would like to have all of the speakers and also the moderator to take picture with Ad America logo. Dan teman-teman sekalian,